How blind are we compared to some of the animals in the Kruger Park? It's dusk in the Lowveld. You're at the fens. The air cools and the bush turns to silhouettes. You scan the bush and you see nothing. But something is watching. In the shadows, it's watching, it's scanning, and it's listening. If you look up, you see a spot in the sky, and it's an eagle, just a speck to us. But it's reading the ground like it's a newspaper. Sight in the Kruger is strategy. We humans, we see pretty well. We see in color. We see fine detail. We see depth. But in the wild, different eyes are tuned to different jobs. Tonight, we'll slip into the viewpoints of 4 different neighbors, that being the eagle, the crocodile, the dragonfly, and the lion, and what the bush looks like to them. Sight is 30 to 40% of your brain function is purely used for processing what you see every day. If you ever stood on the lookout and felt small under the sky, remember an eagle owns that sky. Where we see far away, an eagle sees detail at a distance. A flick of movement that betrays a meal. Imagine reading a license plate from 3 kilometers away. That is an eagle advantage. How it feels to be an eagle. The landscape for the eagle isn't a blur. It's high definition across a wide field. Tiny movements pop against the background. Little subtitles appearing like in a movie. In motion, even at speed, it's tracking its prey. We as humans couldn't even follow it with binoculars. What it means, from the Sabi to the Sand River, from the open savanna to the edges of the Mapani, the eagle's edge is distance. Where we guess, it knows. Okay, so here's your test. Who can spot the mouse in the savannah there? We're there? No. That one? No. And this is a giant mouse. It's not a big mouse. It's a giant mouse. Okay. This would be clearly visible to the eagle. But he is right there. Okay. That is the difference between our vision and the eagle's. As the sun slips, the lion's vision comes alive. Our pupils open, and we just struggle. The lion's pupils turn into wide black windows, soaking up every scrap of light. The lion has a reflective layer behind the corona, the retina, which reflects light back into the eye. So they have a second chance to capture that light and process it. How it feels to be a lion. The dark isn't dark to a lion. It's information, it's edges, it's shadows, it's angles, and it's movement. The lions aren't reckless in the night, they're precise. Their sight helps them to line up ambushes for their prey. Okay, a lion has 4 times more what we call rods, which in your eyes, they absorb the light and can process the light. Now, humans have 120 million of them. You can do the math. They can process and see in very, very low light, where we can't see nothing. For us, it's just black. But here's a reality check. Even with these advantages, a lion's hunt is 20 to 30% of the time successful. Power isn't perfection, it's persistence. Let's go from the savannah to the murky waters where we see another apex predator, the crocodile. It's also top of its food chain because it's tuned to the murky, messy reality of the African rivers. Most other animals are actually totally blind. Their underwater edge is they have a sliding second eyelid, which works basically as goggles underwater. So they can focus underwater where we just see a blur. Ambush vision, just with their eyes and nostrils out of water, they can see movement and ripples that suggest to them something is drinking, and they can make out this is time for dinner. Crocodiles also have an ancient lineage. Crocodiles have been around for over 200 million years. This is basically at the start of the dinosaur era. The crocodiles that we see today, they are tens of million years going as they are. It is a creature that is being perfected many, many millennia ago. So it doesn't really need to change. In a water that looks like tea to us, a crocodile sees a clear invitation. If the eagle owns the distance and the lion owns the darkness, the dragonfly owns precision in motion. It might look delicate, but in its world, the dragonfly is an apex predator. The two big wraparound eyes are like wide-angle multi-pixel sensors. Fantastic for spotting movement, tracking targets, and predicting where the prey will be. The other three tiny, simple eyes, like dots on top of the head, these are sensors that sense light and to ensure that they stay level, judge their distance from the surface, and to keep their bodies steady. Put simply, 2 eyes hunt, 3 eyes stabilize. Imagine the old, maybe some of you might be a little bit young for this, the old Matrix movie. Okay, and Neo is ducking, bending to miss the bullet. The dragonfly can actually do this in reality. The dragonfly can process signals 300 times faster than a human being. This makes even the US Defense Department envious. Defense contractors have been trying to study the dragonfly for years and still have not been able to perfect it. Dragonflies have also been in existence for over 300 million years. The early dragonflies were about this big, so large, or the wingspan was about this big. Their body was about so big. They haven't changed much over the 300 million years, except that they've gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Because why mess with something that's almost perfect? When a dragonfly decides to attack, he has a 95% chance of catching its prey. This is the envy of all predators. Compared to the measly 20 to 30% of a lion, that is the biggest killer. To a human eye, if it's catching the prey, you will not be able to see it. You will not be able to see how quickly it goes back and forth. You just see a blur. Meanwhile, he's seen where that fly is, and he has predicted where the fly will be. He doesn't fly to where the fly is, he flies to where it will be. Okay, on a little side note, if any of you spend some time with a pregnant women, when their hormones change, their eyesight changes. Not only their mood, but also their eyesight. They become more attuned to different hues and different shades than us mere mortals. 1 in 10 pregnant women actually produce an extra cone in their eye when they are pregnant. It's only a temporary thing. This allows them to see a few million more colors than the average person. So men, if your pregnant wife says to you That shirt is aggressively teal. She is seeing something you can't see. But this is still nothing compared to the dragonfly. A dragonfly has between 11 and 30 cones. Cones see color. So humans have 3 cones, a red, a blue, and a green. Lions have 2, and crocodiles have 3, meaning they can also see in color. Why does nature build different eyes? From the sky to the grass, from the rivers to the savanna, vision is customized. The eagle's long-range lens says, don't miss the small, unsuspecting snack that's far away. The lion says, let's hunt while it's cool and most others are blind. The crocodile says, see enough to know that it's dinner. And the dragonfly's 5-eye system says, lock on, let's hit the moving target. No single best eye, only the right eye for the right job. Some animals don't rely on their eyes to see, or don't rely solely on their eyes to see. Pythons can see with infrared radiation, means they can actually sense the heat. So a lion still needs some light. A python needs no light. Whales and bats navigate through using echolocation, which is like a biological sonar system. And elephants, they can sense vibrations and communicate through vibrations through their feet from up to 5 kilometers away. But if you'd like to know more about this, you will have to come to Robert's next presentation, because he has many other little secrets about how animals see without their eyes.